Smiley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for May 2023. So on May 7th, we have Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, and money, moving out of the Gemini energy, the mental plane that we've been kind of sorting out and weighing the pros and cons about. Of course, we've opened our minds up to what it is that we have to change, what it is that we want to invite into our lives, where we need a little bit more excitement back in our lives. And of course, that Gemini energy had us very divided, on the fence about a lot, very stuck in the mental plane of thought, trying to process all of these things. And of course, being in eclipse season, being in retrograde season, has definitely proven to be a challenge on kind of gaining the insight, the clarity that we were hoping and looking for. Now that Venus is moving into Cancer energy, a water sign, we're definitely moving down into the heart space, down into the heart chakra. We are going to become a little bit hypersensitive where our emotions are concerned. This Cancer energy is very nurturing, very protective, very defensive in nature. We are very cautious with sharing ourselves, with sharing and expressing our thoughts and our feelings, and with kind of opening ourselves up. This Cancer energy kind of pushes us to be a little bit more introverted, to kind of hold our cards very close to our chest, so to speak. And we have to drop into the heart space now in order to contemplate some of the choices that we've been faced with. Of course, really kind of taking in the wild card, unexpected energies thrown at us here in the eclipse season and in retrograde season. And basically, we're moving into a very important time of healing. Water energy is healing. It's very transformative. It's purifying, it's cleansing. And Lord knows we've had a lot of things thrown at us that don't feel so well in our circumstances, in our mind space, in our physical bodies. And therefore, we're going to get to work on trying to heal some of these aspects. Now, keep in mind, this is a water energy. What does water do? Well, it changes form. It can be very calm, very peaceful, very still, very reflective. It can be a little bit, I'm going to say, noisy, choppy, very stormy, if you will. And so we do have to understand that with the ebbs and flows of this water cycle, we are going to experience a lot of emotional ups and downs, especially in our personal relationships. So here's the thing. The Cancer energy is very connected to the past. It illuminates our emotional attachments, especially to our home, to our family environment, and mostly to the pain and the trauma that we have essentially incorporated and intertwined a little bit too tightly with our egoic identity. Now, again, this is an interesting time for Venus to be moving into Cancer energy. We are still very much in eclipse energy up until May 19th, when the new moon in Taurus takes over. And of course, Venus rules over that particular moon event, as she still is very much in her rulership, being in Taurus season. We have a lot to process, and we're not going to have a clear understanding of all that has transpired until, again, pretty much the end of May, moving into June. And Venus is in Cancer energy until June 5th. So we're definitely going to start doing the very deep emotional type of healing, but we're really not going to understand the full circle of it until we move into June. We want to understand that this karmic energy that we've been in with eclipse season, with retrograde season overlapping, that it's brought up a lot in our DNA, in our cellular memory, in our energetic field, in our soul contracts. There's a lot going on. And Venus moving into Cancer energy is, karmically speaking, trying to heal said wounds. But again, we're not really going to understand the full picture of what just took place until we enter into June's energy. We have to understand that emotionally, we're super sensitive. Energetically and spiritually, we're super sensitive. There's a little bit of naivety that comes into play in this Cancer energy. We're a little bit, I'm going to say impressionable, just because we want to see the best in people. We want to be in love with love. We want to trust that everything is going to work out. There's that childlike innocence of Cancer energy that kind of gives us that disposition. We are kind of looking at our inner child wounds in this Cancer energy, and then our connection to the mother role, how it is that we are interacting with, let's say, our mother figure or us as a mother figure. And again, we all have that mothering, nurturing energy within us. So this isn't just coming down to the female population. We are very much looking at how it is that we are able to take care of ourselves, take care of other people, and nourish ourselves back to a place of happiness, of health, of wellness, of stability. Now, are we going to be stable in this particular transit? Absolutely not. We are going to be, I'm going to say, unstable in our emotions, unstable in what it is that we want. We're still trying to figure that out. Even more than that, we become a little bit whiny, a little bit complainy in this particular energy. We could activate our stage 5 clanger vibes and be overly attached to people, places, or things. We tend to be a little bit, I'm going to just say, toddler-like, whining, throwing emotional tantrums. We might go to great lengths in order to cover up this inner emotional turmoil because, of course, Cancer energy is represented by the crab with a tougher outer exterior and an ooey gooey mushy middle. That's exactly what we're going to kind of see ourselves fall into. So when it comes to the Venus topics and themes, which of course is worth, self-worth, self-confidence, self-love, yes, worth and value in a financial and monetary sense as well. But of course, if we're not feeling good about ourselves, we're not gaining the power, the energy from receiving finances. People don't understand that the way that you feel about yourself, the way that you treat yourself is a direct reflection in our physical realm of the money that we receive, the safety, security, stability that we have in our lives. And it's a good time, especially coming out of this very potent eclipse chapter, to really take a good look at how it is that you are truly feeling about yourself and where it is that you could make that connection to the income situation that you're currently facing. Now, Venus is also very focused on relationship dynamics. That's why we move into the heart space. And, coming out of this Gemini energy, we've definitely been positioned to kind of contemplate whether or not the grass may be greener on the other side of the fence here, what it is that we are bored with, what it is that we're no longer in alignment with, who it is and what it is that we've outgrown. Yeah, we've had some thoughts about it, but we detached ourselves from our emotions while in Gemini energy to kind of just live up in that mental plane. And now we're dropping down into the emotional body, into the heart space. And this is why there's going to be an overwhelming surge of emotions coming up for us. Now, of course, what we have identified in our lives that is absolutely staying, that we absolutely love, we are dedicated to that. We are firm with that. We're not going anywheres. And with the connections that we feel safe and secure and stable in, there is going to be this kind of warm and fuzzy, lovey-lovey situation going on. However, if we're not feeling so sure about some of the relationship dynamics that we currently have going on, there is going to be this retreat, this introvertedness, this wall that gets put up until we sort our own selves out. We're not really in the mood for sharing our instability, our, let's say, thought process, our emotional stance until we figure out what's going on within ourselves. But again, there's high levels of affection here in the right relationship dynamics. And, we really open up when we are feeling safe and secure and sure about what it is that we are doing and who it is that we're pouring into. We definitely go the extra mile to show the people that we love, that we're sure about, that make us feel sure that we're in love, we're devoted, that, this connection is strong and there's nothing to really be concerned about. But like I said, on the other side of the coin, if you're not so certain, you best believe there's going to be a lot of insecurities, a lot of fears, a lot of doubts that kind of creep up because our whole quest is to find safety and security and stability in this Cancer energy, especially in our private lives, especially in our home lives with our family dynamics popping off in the way that they've been doing since this eclipse and retrograde season kind of unearthed some wild card events as well. But bottom line, there's a lot of karma going on that we're not even going to be aware of. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, behind the curtain, that we will never make sense of. But just understand that collectively and individually, we are doing a whole hell of a lot of DNA healing. And we are kind of cutting the cord with some of the generational trauma that has been bestowed upon us because of the blood that we're carrying in our bodies. And consciousness is elevating at such a rapid rate due to the ascension process that we're in, that now we have a totally different perspective on ourselves, on our interactions, on the world that we've created, on the circumstances that are no longer making us feel so good about ourselves. But this is going to bring in a lot of indecisiveness as well. So this is why we have to be super cautious with our feelings and just understand that we're not going to feel safe and secure and stable like we want to all the time. Just when we kind of stand in that energy, if we're lucky enough to stand in it, then we start picking it apart, tearing it down, really kind of infusing fear where there doesn't need to be any. So we might not be confident about our situations. We definitely will not be overly expressive if we don't have to be. And we tend to kind of be very reflective on the past here in this Cancer energy. And of course, being in eclipse season, in retrograde season, there is already a very intense focus on the past. And so we are going to start kind of unearthing some of these elements that get triggered and activated in eclipse energy and in retrograde energy as well. So just be prepared for you to get a little bit weepy, a little bit sentimental, hyper nostalgic, if you will. And of course, just understand that not everybody is comfortable to explore the depths of their emotions. And therefore, if you feel the disconnect take place in a personal relationship, just understand that everybody's going through the same thing. And sometimes we need to withdraw and pull back in order for us to get our own shit together before we go ahead, bring ourselves back into the dynamic where we're able to express ourselves fully and kind of get on the same page.